Hello my friends and welcome. My name is Dennis and as you probably know I'm the airline captain, and today we're going to review the best aviation commercials, basically the airline advertisements that they use to attract the customers for the airlines. And two of the videos were sent to me with the written text of the best aviation commercials, so I didn't see this video. I haven't seen them so far, so we're gonna see and review them with you, and there will be one more video that I'll put as a bonus at the end of the video. So my friends, stay tuned and let's go.
Bum bum.
All right, so the first one.
Those first young men, the pioneers, the aviators, building superhighways in an unknown sky, leaving wives and children in their snug homes with just a kiss and a promise to return. Roaring into the clouds to battle wind and stars. Their safety systems built of brain and heart. They landed where there were no lights, transforming strange names from tall tales into pictures on postcards home. And those next young men, traveling further, faster, higher than any in history. And the ones who followed them, who skimmed the edge of space, the edge of heaven, the edge of dreams.
Speedbird 1, Speedbird 1. Clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff for takeoff.
And we follow them up there to live by an unbreakable promise. The same four words stitched into every uniform of every captain who takes their command. To fly, to serve.
Yes, my friends, that's the British Airways airline with a great history, and I really enjoyed this commercial because it's filmed from the pilot perspective. So we have some of the story of different pilots. Each one of them lived or lives in their own time, and together they flew at the same time. So like connection through the history, through the heritage of this airline. Quite good perspective. I mean, from the cockpit perspective, it's also nice. And if we go in from the beginning, you'll see the small airplane like this, the biplane, the first airplanes that were used to fly as the mail airplanes to deliver goods. And as you may see, we have two places, so maybe to deliver people. And I don't know the type of this airplane. Maybe you may write it in a comment section below. And I really like the details they put to this video. So you see the pilot is looking to the sky, so actually searching for the weather, where there is some kind of thunderstorm, or maybe he thinks what kind of clouds I will fly to, because by that time we hadn't had any kind of meteor services, weather radars, etc. Now we have all this meteorological data that we use for our flying. I also like this moment with photographer who is taking the photo of the pilot and the airplane, and it shows how rare flights were at the beginning of the aviation history, and it also shows how challenging flights were. So every flight might have finished not in a good way. The percentage of the air crashes, accidents was very high back then. And here we have one more picture. The wife of the pilot, the kids, and the wife is very sad looking at her husband who is going to fly, whether he comes or no. So it was the big question back then. And now it's okay, it's your regular job with highest level of safety probably, but back then it was really challenging. And I'm really happy and I'm very glad that they showed the spirit of the beginning of the aviation history, how hard it was to fly back then, and how I would say proud people were to fly the airplanes. Now you can fly everywhere, it's not a problem, but back then it was the huge event. And of course only brave pilots put their lives in risk to discover the new ocean for humanity, the fifth ocean, the sky. So next we have, by the way, we may use it in nowadays as well. Nowadays, that's the calculator, the basic calculator that you may use to calculate all the data you need to fly. But we don't use it in commercial aviation, but we may use it, my friends. So then you start your private pilot training, you have to study this thing as well. For commercial pilot training also, to know the basic principles. But now computers calculate everything, and probably in the future it will be some kind of historical instrument, the calculation instrument. And here we have one more airplane. It's already twin-engine airplane. I think it's a Surtees or something, maybe. I don't know the airplane model either. Imperial Airways or something. Maybe it was the first name of the British Airways. Yeah, probably. So here we have one more pilot and passengers already. Very nice. The canopy of this airplane is very huge, showing that all the flights were performed visually back then. So we have not a lot of flight instruments, but huge canopy to see everything, to see the surroundings, to identify your position. And actually many pilots lost their lives performing long-haul flights. If you read or watch the movie Amelia Earhart, you know what I'm talking about. So with only basic navigation equipment, you were unable to identify your position, and of course then you fly somewhere, you may have lost engine power because of the fuel is not infinite. Okay, so you need to know where you fly to calculate your flights, but the navigation equipment was very poor back then. So many of the airplanes were just lost then they fly. And next we have the DC-3. It's the historical, the greatest probably airplane for commercial aviation. Many of the airlines started their flying from the DC-3. I used to work for Garuda Indonesia, and they started their operation from the DC-3 airplane. So it's huge success back then for commercial aviation to use this twin-engine airplane. I also like the idea that they put all the airplanes at the same airport. So as you may see, the DC-3 is taxiing, and there we have other airplanes. That's the Vickers 10 as far as I remember. So not many of these airplanes were produced, around 50 if I'm not wrong. So yes, it's very similar to Illusion 62 that was produced in Soviet Union. So we have 4 engines mounted on the tail part, but Illusion was successful, but this airplane was not really success in commercial aviation, so not many of those were produced for commercial operations. Later on they were changed for military aviation as refuelers or something like that for the British Airways, British Royal Air Force, sorry. And here we have the Concorde, the supersonic airplane, one of my favorites. And once I visited the aviation museum in Paris, and I was there inside this airplane. However, visiting the cockpit is prohibited there. But anyway, I like it a lot. So supersonic aviation in commercial, I hope it will return, the supersonic aviation, at least as part of VIP flights or maybe some kind of business transportation with a super high speed. What is that? That is Boeing 747. And it's already the part of the history, the part of the British Airways history as well. So because of the recent events, the crisis in aviation, in commercial aviations, huge jumbo jets retired forever. And what they do, they just fly together, and none of those airplanes are now flying in British Airways. So British Airways, you need to film the new commercial. Pam pam. Alright, one more video, my friends, and it's the Turkish Airlines from the name Türk Hava Yolları. It's the Turkish Airways. Now let's play.
İstanbul'a mı gider sence?
Başkanıra gideceği.
Buraya gelecek hali yoktu ya. Çok istesek gelir bence.
uçmadığımız tek bir yer kalsa, dünyada en çok noktaya uçmuşuz. Ne fayda? Türk Hava Yolları.
Yeah, absolutely nice. It's very funny because I actually thought that this airplane would land on this small strip that they built, but the idea is fantastic, my friends. The idea of this commercial is so nice. They removed this glamorous stuff and showed the life as it is, and they also showed that they can fly to quite remote regions, and we fly also to Turkish airports, and for example in Bodrum you fly in quite mountainous area, so then you approach from the mountainside sometimes, and yes, you fly near to the mountains. Very interesting approach. Bodrum, Dalaman, very interesting places in Turkey. So yes, they tried to build the the runway, waiting for the airplane, and aviation passion starts from the very early years, my friends. I remember me flying myself flying the flight simulator when I was very young, and I think then that was the time that aviation passion started in my heart. And nice, they were looking at the plane, so that is how their passion to aviation started. And I know that filming this kind of videos and many other videos on YouTube, not only by me but other aviation YouTubers, may encourage young people to follow the aviation world. And this world, my friends, believe me, it is fantastic. And here we have the Boeing 737 on approach, and I really thought that it would land on that small runway built by kids because of this, part. Then it was very low. It is very low on approach. One idea I didn't understand, that if there is the airport behind this hill, the kids might have already know that the airplanes will try to approach very close to their small village. So it wasn't the surprise. It shouldn't be the surprise, but yeah, this filming, it's not real, my friends. So this airplane shouldn't be at such a low altitude over this hill. But the airplane overflown the hill and later on landed, and was quite firm landing, smoky one. So probably the guy who landed this plane is ex-Ryanair pilot. And again, here we have the pilot. So I like these commercials that they put the air crew at the leading places in their commercials. Now we have modern glamorous commercials that show what we have on board, but there is no any story, my friends. So here in two commercials we see the story of the flight crew, the story of the kids. So basically it shows more than the standard aviation commercials. That's my personal opinion, and I really like the British Airways story, and of course even more I like the Turkish Airlines story. And I promised you the bonus video. Here we go. Pam pam. As you probably know, I like motorcycles, but not only me. There are many of the pilots who share my passion, especially in my current airline, Ukraine International Airlines. And back in 2019, we filmed the aviation commercial together with Harley-Davidson. So let's see it, my friends. Let's start. So amazing Harley-Davidson and FlyUIA promo video. Here we go.
Power. Speed. New horizons.
Each of us is different, but we're united by one thing. Traveling is not just a job, but a way of life. And the end of the journey is the beginning of a new one. We are the wings for real dreamers.
Yeah, it was nice. I personally took part in the filming, so I was riding my Honda motorcycle there. Yes, it's not the Harley, but it looks similar to Harley. That's why I rode there. So together with my friends, we rode on the runway. So runway was closed in Borispol. There are two runways. So one of the runway was closed because of the filming, and the new Boeing 777, new for us, of course, for our airline, was taxiing there, and together we were riding there. So it was fantastic experience riding together with the Boeing 777. Very fun times, good old days, my friends. And back then we received our first 777. So the idea of this commercial was to show it to the public, not only to our regular passengers, but to everyone involved. Okay, my friends. So many people like motorcycles. That is why we connect the aviation with motorcycles to share this aviation experience, new experience of huge Boeing 777 that will fly from the Kiev to New York and back, from Kiev to Beijing to Delhi to Canada, everywhere basically. And also the idea was to show that our pilots are not only pilots, they not only fly the airplanes, they also have the similar hobbies like our passengers have. They ride the motorcycles, they like skiing, they like sports and different other stuff. So to bring pilots more closer to regular people. So we are not gods, there's no any special things in us. We are people just like you. So yeah, I like it a lot. I like that I took part in that filming. So here I am here with a jacket. That's the only frame that I recognize myself. So the runway 18 right 36 left was closed in Borispol airport. It's the very long runway and very wide, so even Boeing 777 can land there. And this airplane burned around 5,000 kilograms of fuel. Very quite a lot, my friends. And this part of the video was filmed by a drone. So the drone was quite far away, even further than the airport itself, but it had the good optics, the good zoom, so it was able to zoom in on us. And here I am near to the tail part, at the tail part of this column, and I was able to hear this huge noise from this Boeing 777 engines. Actually, we have Pratt & Whitney engines installed in our Boeing 777s, but it was quite loud when you are near this engine. Actually, we took the required distance from the engines, and pilots, professional pilots who were inside the cockpit, they were looking at us and seeing if it's okay, if they should brake, if they should add some thrust. But it was really fantastic, you know, then you ride your motorbike and you look in the mirror, you have Boeing 777 behind with the huge engines. Wow, that's nice. And this part of the video is my favorite, because there you may see lots of airplanes of our airline on the apron, and of course beautiful Boeing 777 just took off from the runway. Beautiful airplane and fantastic airline. My friends, tell me, what do you think? What is your most favorite commercial from this video? The first one, British Airways, the second, Turkish Airlines, or the third one, the bonus video, my airline, Ukraine International Airlines. Personally, I like our commercial, of course, but I also like British Airways and Turkish. I like our commercial also because I took part in filming that. So tell me, my friends, in the comment section below which one is your favorite. And also don't forget to follow the awesome guy checklist. I know you usually follow it, but anyway, let me cross-check it with you. First, you need to like this video, then subscribe to my channel, and only after that, ring the bell, whatever it means. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great time. Pam pam.